Hi, this is Star. I don't look so good today, do I? It's definitely not compared to my other videos, if I've posted any that I can remember. I wanted to talk about something just kind of personal today. I don't normally do talking videos, or any videos for that matter, other than like posting videos of my animals, because I kind of use YouTube as an archive for my pets, which I love. Mostly my dog, because that's all I have right now. My rats have unfortunately passed away, so I no longer have rats, it's just my dog. But I wanted to touch on a quick subject real fast about a medication for depression and anxiety and fibromyalgia, and I believe rheumatoid arthritis or rheumatic illnesses similar to like fibromyalgia or rheumatoid arthritis, which is a different kind of arthritis. It doesn't require you to usually like be older. It can come onset young, like a lot of other diseases do. So this medication is known as Cymbalta or duloxetine, and it starts off at a 20 milligram dose. It can go 20, 30, and 60, and then they can just double it to like 120 for like extreme cases of like fibro or severe cases of depression. So I've been on this for a while now. I've been on pretty much all of the name brand medications, Lexapro, Paxil, I don't remember the other ones. The only one I think I haven't been on is Prozac. And so my doctor put me on this after I was on Celexa, because I was having some difficulties. But every a year or two, they change my medication for some reason, and I don't even really know why. I mean, I was like perfectly fine on Lexapro, but when I turned 18 and I lost my insurance for a couple of months, and then I ended up not being on insurance at all for a while, they just decided to put me on Paxil when I came back to the doctors after a couple years of not being in the system. And so I don't know why I was no longer on Lexapro, because I was actually weaning off Lexapro, so I should have been staying on it to come off my depression meds altogether. But that's not how it worked. So I'm now on Cymbalta, and I'm trying to come off of Cymbalta. And I think that is where what I'm talking about today is very important. It's because Cymbalta has a syndrome called Cymbalta withdrawal syndrome, and it's been coined by the FDA, I believe, after hundreds of lawsuits have been filed against the company because they manufactured a drug that was unable to come off of without severe side effects. Some of them are dizziness, diarrhea, nausea, fainting, brain shivers or brain shocks. It's an electrical surge that goes in your brain, and it's like being zapped. Like sometimes you can feel like a shiver in your head. It's kind of like being high or drunk. I guess I would associate it with being drunk, when you like move your head and all of a sudden the whole world kind of goes woo, 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 woo. So it's like being drunk but mentally sober, and then your eyes feel like you just want to like sleep forever and never wake up, but your body's saying, yo, I'm awake, come on, let's go do things. And so then you're nauseous, and suddenly you want foods that you haven't eaten in like a million years. You're like, peanut butter, I haven't seen you in a decade. And suddenly you're like eating spoonfuls of peanut butter, and like, you know, what you normally eat for dinner no longer sounds appetizing. You want like donuts at like 3 in the morning. It's like being pregnant without being pregnant. It's the worst. So you have all the side effects of like your regular pills, plus the withdrawal symptoms that you start having. And the problem is that there's hundreds of lawsuits filing against the company saying that you made it impossible to come off of. And the problem is none of the doctors know any of this information. So when I told my doctor that I wanted to come off of Cymbalta, and I expressed my concerns that I would be having with Cymbalta withdrawal syndrome, she says, I have to Google that. Mind you, this is a professional who's, went to school for this to be a doctor, and I'm telling her something simply because I was interested in it, and I found out that in France they recommend you not take the medication at all. It's recommended that no one should be using this medication, but because the doctors don't know about it, they're still prescribing it. So that is what I want to talk about today. I'm expressing that my concerns over people who need to take medications. Although Cymbalta has good effects if you're on it, the long term, if you need to be on something for a long time, it is very effective in its job. But if you're like some people who are hoping to get better and not have to be on these kinds of medications for the rest of your life and to live a somewhat normal life off of pills, because the Cymbalta does make you drowsy, it makes you with no motivation, no creativity. I can sleep for 18 plus hours. Going to work is difficult. Doing a lot of things is difficult on this stuff. And if you want to have a normal life outside of prescribed medications, I would recommend not taking Cymbalta. I wish that I had this information when I started. I wish that my doctors had this information when they prescribed these things for me. Of course, I've been into the hospital only once due to high blood pressure because they prescribed the wrong mixture of medications for me. And of course, my doctor was like, well, that's your fault. But I guess I don't have a very good doctor, but I don't live in a place where I have lots of options. And I'd rather have a physical doctor than Skype my doctor from the East Coast. So I make do with what I've got. So long story short, Cymbalta is bad. I do not like it. You should not take it. And this is a warning, and this is just telling you exactly the effects of what it does for you and my concerns over these effects. There are lots of alternatives to this sort of medication. If you are in a state where you are able to medicate yourself, you should be able to do that. If you are in a state where it is recreationally legal, you should medicate yourself and educate yourself on what you're putting into your body. Sometimes the doctors don't always know what's best for the individual person. Express your concerns. Google your medications. Learn what the FDA is telling you. Learn what other countries are saying. Read experiences. Go on the blogs. All I can tell you is that Cymbalta withdrawal syndrome is the worst, and I am going to be seeing my doctor in a couple months, and I'm hoping that maybe we can go on to Prozac to keep the serotonin up long enough for me to come off of Cymbalta without withdrawal syndrome. But I've been doing every other day for over a month and a half now, maybe, and I still feel every other day, I feel like it's the end of my life. I just don't want to do anything anymore. So that's all I'm going to say. Shout out to the people in Texas. You guys are strong. You guys will be safe. Just don't fire your guns at the hurricane, because that's not going to do anything. I heard all those jokes on Tumblr. If you're in any of the areas with the rallies, you guys be safe. Counter protesters, you guys be safe. All y'all be safe. And maybe I'll do another vlog again someday, but just not today, because I'm not feeling it, bro. I'm just gonna go and play some Lotro. I played Lord of the Rings online. I'm gonna go catch up with my friends, and that's it. So peace. I can find the stop button.